Hello, welcome to Healing with podcast. I am Marissa McDevitt, your host, mindset coach, mentor, and founder of Healing Center. Tired of all the BS? So was I. This podcast is my raw, unfiltered take on life, sharing my personal experiences, lessons, and healing practices that helped me break free from the cycles that no longer serve me. I'm just an average woman who decided to stop settling and start speaking up. Here we dive deep into the messy, beautiful, and sometimes painful realities of life, business, and relationships. No fluff, no judgment, just real talk, real growth, and real transformation. This is a safe space for anyone, women, men, and all the beauties in between. So who's ready to raise their standards, heal, and step into their power? Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Now tune in and let's talk about it. All right, episode 26, y'all, Restaurant Madness. How I've had 17 years in the industry. What industry? The food and beverage industry. So today's episode is a wild one. We're diving into what 17 years in restaurant industry has taught me, from the chaos, the comedy, and the heartbreak and the healing. My mission is blending hospitality with holistic energy and mindfulness. So let's give a little shout out to my other platforms here. So my main platform is this podcast, Healing with Podcast. It's on all the platforms. You got it on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Podbean, iHeartRadio. If you're not following me already on Facebook, please do it. Healing Center. You can follow me, Marissa McDevitt. You can follow me on Instagram. But right now, all my energy has been going just to podcast, my YouTube channel, which is at Healing with and Facebook, because I took a little break from Instagram and I'm actually loving it. So I'm going to eventually move back to Instagram and revamp that a little bit, but I've been really focusing on my Facebook pages, which is at Marissa McDevitt or at Healing Center. And what is Healing Center? For those who don't know, it's actually my business. So I run my business out of my house. I do holistic healing. I do Reiki healing. I do workshops. I am a conscious life coach. I do one-on-one mentorship. And I also do group programs, which I'm going to be launching coming up. So big news coming. For those of you who do know, I am taking one-on-one clients right now for coaching and mentorship. My group programs will be launched in the new year. So here we go. Why did I even think of this episode? Well, my job that I am at now, bartending away, actually inspired me to make this episode because of all the crazy stuff that has happened in my life at, restaurants and bars and you name it, I've been there. 17 years. I've worked in dive bars, high volume clubs, resorts, and fine dining. I've worked every position from server, bartender, supervisor, manager, dishwasher, you name it, I've done it. And I have learned so much from every position I have been at over the last 17 years. Every position has taught me so much in every way. And I am absolutely grateful that I have learned and been able to see from all positions. It's like seeing everything from the outside in. I've been in everybody's brain. I've been in everybody's position, which makes me have a whole for the whole entire industry, right? It's shaped my leadership, and it's given me tons of compassion for each position as well. So I have insane stories from working in the bar restaurant industry. an example, I was managing a resort in the Dells, and it was a water park resort. So I had 3 bars and a kitchen that I was managing full time. And at the water park, they obviously have to shock it and put tons of chlorine in. Well, apparently, ducks, they have their ducklings at the same spot every year, I guess. We were so excited because the mama and the dad, they had the baby. The mama came and had the babies. Well, unfortunately, because of the water park being open, they have to shock it with so many chemicals that the baby ducks were dying like crazy. So she started off with I think it was 15 baby ducks. I can't even make it up. And then every day it was just we were just I was watching everybody just pick up these baby ducks dying, laying, drowned, but they were just dying from the chemicals. So I couldn't take it anymore. There was 3 baby ducks left out of all of them in a couple days, and I just lost it. I had all the lifeguards in the pool. I had my staff up outside the pool, and we were all running, trying to catch mama duck because the baby ducks were easy to catch. I Googled, how to save the baby ducks, and they said, you want to capture the mom with the ducks. So that's when I learned ducks can fly like a real bird. I know, it's funny. It's Marissa, what do you mean ducks can fly like a real bird? Of course they can fly like a real bird. Did you know they can fly really far and fast and high? I didn't even, I guess geese can too. I don't know. I didn't think about it like that. Okay. I thought they were like quails. But they can fly. Mama duck, there was no catching this mama duck. We were out there for a few hours trying to catch mama duck, multiple days. I'm telling you, I had lifeguards in the water. Anyways, long story short, we couldn't catch mama duck. I'm calling the Humane Society. I'm calling the animal shelters. Nobody will take these ducks. I'm crying on the phone because I got baby ducks. I got the one baby duck died in my hand. I don't know what to feed them. I'm Googling what to do. Now I got to run a business, yet I got baby ducks in the back in a crate. In a box, cardboard box, a beer box. Finally, after 2 days of calling and crying to these people, I get a shelter that takes the baby ducks. I send off the baby ducks to them, and they called me a few days later. They said they were doing good. From there, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they survived or not, but I was trying to give them sugar water and all this stuff. It was hard. So that's just one story. I have another story where I was managing a bar in the Dells, and I was closing. I was the only one on, closing the bar. These 2 guys were drunk, and of course, they get into an altercation, and they start, verbally battling it out, and then they start beating each other in my bar, and I'm the only one there. I don't even have anybody else in the restaurant. It was just them 2 in the bar. So I'm so I call the cops because you're supposed to call the cops right away. And I'm what do I do? So I grab a broom and I go behind the bar and I start beating them with the broom. Knock it off, knock it off, knock it off, like dogs, because that's the only way. I'm I don't know how to break up 2 men, And luckily they broke apart, but it was a big joke at my job watching the cameras of me beat these 2 grown men with a broom. So that's a good story. I have where I was bartending at this dive bar, and the owner's son was a coke addict and drunk, and you name it, he was doing it. And he would disappear for hours, and I never could figure out where he would go. Well, come to find out, he would be on top of the walk-in cooler sleeping. So when I would have important people coming in where I had to sign checks and all these things, I can't find the manager because he's out, passed out, drunk on the walk-in cooler. So there was a little ladder. He had it all set up, bed, everything up there. So that was one good one. Shout out to him, though. He's completely sober, running the whole business now, definitely taking it over. has a baby, and is a great husband. So shout out to him. We'll do one of my most favorite ones and then one of the most tragic ones. One of my most unforgettable moments was I was doing bottle service at Talking Stick Resort in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I knew, I'm a big raver. We all know that. I knew that Stevie Aoki was coming to close out our summer parties. So I personally made a sign that said, "Cake your server." And I hid it in one of my cabanas. I got there early. I hid it in one of my cabanas. I told my cabana who previously reserved me, I said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do. I have it all planned out in my head. I'm going to get caked by Stevie Aoki at the end of the night on the clock, and I'm probably going to get fired, but I'm going to go out with a bang." I'm all excited. I hate the sign. Nobody knows what's going on. I'm working my butt off. I'm working my butt off. I had like three cabanas with like 20 people each almost. Like, I'm working hard, running around. Stevie Aoki starts caking people early. I'm like, son of a bitch. He's caking people early. So all my plans went out the door. Like, I had a person that they were going to put me on their shoulders. I had a person that was going to tape. I had it all planned out, and it all went out the door because he started caking people early. And he only brings out, I think, like 5 to 10 cakes. So it's like, out of 3,000 people, you got to be ready to go. So I grabbed two of my guys out of a cabana. It was actually, I believe it was one of their birthdays. I said, "Come on, we're going to VIP. I'm getting caked by Stevie Aoki's." They're like, "What?" So we run. I'm running with my sign. I'm running. I get them past through VIP. We go up, and I'm like holding my sign up, and it's like, okay, he can't see that. There's people on shoulders, with the sign. And I'm like, okay, I know what I have to do. So I look to the guy next to me, and I hit him, and I'm like, "Hey, put me on your shoulders." And he's like, "What? No, I don't want to get kicked out." And I'm like, "Bro, I work here. Just put me on your shoulders." And he wouldn't do it. So I turned to the next guy, and I hit him, and I go, "Hey, put me on your shoulders." And the guy goes, "Okay." Puts me on his shoulders, and I'm holding the sign up. And Stevie Aoki looks at me, winks, points, gets another cake, and just nails me perfectly. And I got it. My friends got it on video. I think it's on like my TikTok. I don't know. I can make a video up here. I'll add that in. That would be fun. Insane, right? So I got caked on the clock. Completely, I didn't think of like the after percussions, just like cake everywhere. Like, I literally couldn't even see it, and my hat got knocked off. Like, it's everywhere. It was epic. I gave the guy a hug, and that was it. Never seen him again. We went back, and I'm walking back, and everybody's like, "Wow, that was so cool," and taking pictures with me. And then I see my GM, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, all right, here we go." So I'm walking with confidence, because I'm like, it's either gonna go 2 ways, good, or I'm getting fired on the spot, because they're very strict there. And he kind of goes like this as he's walking towards me, and I'm just smiling because I'm like, "Oh shoot," and I have my sign. And right before he goes to say anything, a whole crowd of people come running to me. "Can I get a photo with you? Can I get a photo with you? Can I get?" And I was like, wow, saving grace, like fan club for a second. So whatever. My boss starts laughing. He's like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "Oh, boss," is like, "I just got caked by Stevie Aoki on the clock." And he's laughing so hard. He's like, "You're crazy." So whatever. I go put the sign down. I finish out my cabanas. I run inside. All the employees are like, my coworkers are like, "What? Taking photos with me." I got a photo. It's so cool. It was so much fun. I ended up making like almost $2,000 that night. It was such a good night. It was so much fun. So the vibes were on. And then I'm like, wow, okay, so I haven't heard anything. I'm not getting fired. Nobody said anything. My bosses are just laughing. Well, a week goes by, and I ended up getting my first write-up at that company. He literally pulled me into the office. My boss was laughing. He's like, "Hey, I got to write you up. You're not allowed to get caked by Stevie Aoki on the clock." And I got my first of many write-ups there, but I got my first write-up. That was my first write-up, was getting caked by Stevie Aoki on the clock. At Talking Stick Resort. It was pretty awesome. Fast forward a year later, it was about a year later, my other manager, he called me. I was working the pool, and he called me. He said, "Hey, you need to come inside. I want you to come work the the cafe. And I'm like, why? And they're like, just come on, hurry up. So I'm like, okay. So I put everything down. I run inside and he's like, hey, Stevie Aoki's out there. I want you to serve him. I thought that was so cool. That was so nice of them. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. So, I serve them. Everything's good. And then at the end, you're not supposed to bring out your phone or nothing, but I had to show him. I'm like, hey, I showed him the video. I said, you were my first write-up. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, did you get in trouble? I was like, no, it's a first write-up. So it's not like I got fired or anything. I'm still here. And he's like, okay. I'm like, but you got me good. One hand. He's like, I did get you good. And he signed a little paper for me. I gave it to my other coworker for her daughter. Her daughter really loves Stevie Aoki. So he signed a little receipt paper for her. And I gave that to her. And that was my proud Stevie Aoki moment. He is just as genuine as like his documentary and how he seems on stage. He really is. Really cool guy. I wish he would have tipped me $1 million. I'm just kidding. So, anyways, okay, from high, here's the craziest. I saved this one for last. So I was working at this restaurant recently, like, I don't know, probably a year ago. The craziest thing happened. So clearly I pick up on energy. I pick up on people's energy. And there was this prep cook / dishwasher. And she was just having a rough couple weeks. Every time she would come into work, she was crying. Every time she would come into work, she was just like not feeling good. She was always in the bathroom. I don't know. It was really weird. And it was getting to the point where it was starting to irritate me, like uncomfortably, because she was just like always bawling. And I asked her, like, hey, woman to woman, whatever you're going through, I'm here for you. Like, let's talk about it. Let's get it out. Something's clearly going on with you. No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, well, if you ever need someone, I am here. A week goes by, same thing. She comes in bawling her eyes out. I'm the only one on. I'm trying to run the restaurant here, serving. And she's just bawling in the back, super uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, I'm on my period or something. And I'm like, okay. So I go tell the cook manager, hey, she is not feeling good. She needs to be sent home. He comes back and he's like, she's just on her period. I gave her some ibuprofen or whatever. I'm like, okay. So I go back and she's crying again. And I'm like, girl, what is going on? And she's like, I'm just, just like constipated, And I'm like, okay. And she's like crying. I'm like, you need to go home. Something's clearly wrong. You need to go home. So I go back to the kitchen manager. I said, you guys, this is very uncomfortable. She's not feeling good. I could tell she's in pain. Something's wrong. No, she's fine. No, she's fine. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I just let it be. Well, she ends up going to our sister restaurant because she had a shift that night to dishwash. She left. She went 5 minutes down the road to our sister restaurant. Within 10 minutes, she's in the bathroom and she delivered a baby. Can't make it up. She delivered a baby on the bathroom floor. So when she was telling me she's constipated and on a period, she was having contractions. Anyways, she ends up being okay. The baby's okay. Yeah. I don't know whatever happened because she got let go from the company because of, the situation. But literally a coworker had a baby in the bathroom at the restaurant. And the manager had to deliver it. Yeah. Talk about traumatizing for all of us. Her, the baby, the manager. Yeah. I mean, one of the customers had to go help. They just heard screaming in the bathroom, like insane. Insane story, right? Wow. So these are the stories that shaped me. The kind that make you laugh, cry, and sometimes question why you even started in the industry in the first place. So we have the good, the bad, and the transformational in all stories, right? In all places. Let me give you some examples of poor management and poor ownership. For example, remember I was telling you about the guy that fell asleep on the cooler because he was a drug addict and alcoholic? Well, his father is bipolar and has no communication and ran it pretty much to the ground until they got other managers. But anyways, I remember I was starting to do the schedule for this place. It kind of like help take over, help run it, because you had a manager that was a drunk and a drug addict, and you had a owner that can't communicate, bipolar, so you never know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, what you're gonna get, and treated women extremely poorly, like dirt poor. Anyways, long story short, 6 months go by, and I've just had it with him, and he came in and did some passive-aggressive stuff that I couldn't handle for the last time, and I just said, you know what, screw this. I took my tips, I closed everybody out, and I walked out. No manager, because the manager was drunk and high somewhere. No owner, because I don't know where the owner went. He left because we were supposed to have a talk, and then he just left without having to talk. I left. I said, F this. My worth, my sanity is way more important than this piece of you know what. Chakra bell. So I said, peace, love, and wubs, baby. I left that place. I cried on my way out, gave everybody hugs. I mean, I got people calling the manager. I called the manager. He didn't answer twice. That's why I walked out. I called him twice. He did not answer because he was passed out on the thing. Anyway, so you know what? I walked out. I was done. I got in my truck. I'm about to leave. I'm just bawling. And guess what happens? The owner drives in front of my truck. It's parked like this. You can't back out. He drives in front of me like this and stares at me like trying to taunt me. And I'm like, first off, buddy, I'm not scared of you. Second off, dude, your truck is worth way more than mine and I will hit it. And that's what I told him. I'm like, get out of my way. What are you blocking me? You're not intimidating me. Goodbye. Goodbye. With your energy, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Peace, love, and wubs. Ella's dream, baby. So anyways, yeah, left that place. There was another place I was working at, and I was closing shifts all the time, and it was like the crowd you really don't want to be with. I was serving. It was like younger kids, and they didn't really tip good, and it was just like late nights, and I just couldn't handle it. It was like till 3 a.m. I requested off a date, and they approved it, but then last minute they scheduled me, and I said, hey, you approved it, but then you scheduled me, and they said, well, we need you. I said, well, too bad. My friends are in town. They flew in from Wisconsin. I'm literally going to be gone the next 2 days, like up north. And they said, well, we need you in. And I'm like, well, I'm not coming in. The third shift, I show up. I was scheduled to. The third shift, I didn't show up those two because I was gone. The third one, I show up because they knew I was gone. I told them over the phone. And I show up. My name's like, they had like a whiteboard and everybody had a name, like where the section was and all the things. And I didn't see mine. So I go in, like, hey. And the owner's sitting there and he goes, what are you doing knocking on my office door? And I'm like, I'm just wondering why my name's not on the board. He's like, yeah, because you don't work here anymore. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, you can wait for me over there. And I was like, okay. So anyways, he brings me over to the table and he has this like paper and he's like, yeah, we terminated you because you no-showed, no-called. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, the other manager knew. We talked on the phone. And he's like, yeah, I know. And you didn't show up for your shift that we said we needed you. And I'm like, but you approved. And he goes, we approved it, but we needed you. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. So then he slides this like piece of paper over to me. And he's like, you need to sign this that you, what did he say? That I no-called, no-showed, and didn't show up to my shifts twice in a row. And I'm like, I'm not signing that. And he's like, well, if you don't sign that, you're 86 here. And I'm like, then 86 me. Because I'm not signing that. Your story's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. And I'm not signing that. And he's like, oh, really? He starts screaming in front of customers. Screaming, holding the paper up, telling me I'm 86th and how I'm disrespecting him in the business. And I'm like, I don't care if I'm disrespecting you or the business. Your story's bullshit. Bye. Bye. Bye with that attitude. Chakra bell. Bye. Walked out. Like, fuck you, dude. What do you mean? I didn't sign that paper. I'm not signing that paper. 86 me from your little hoo-ha restaurant, okay? And he was the owner that slept with all the employees. And I had no interest in the guy because he slept with all the employees. Like, gross. Maybe when you're like 18, that's hot. Anyways, or not. And then I also had the opposite experience where the owners love their business and employees, and it was an unforgettable workplace. Why communication, teamwork, and appreciation of the foundation equals success in hospitality. You have to have those three things. Communication, teamwork, and appreciation are the foundation of success in hospitality. It is so important. It is so important to have meetings. It is so important to check in with your employees. It is so important to check in with everybody. It is so important to come out and check the food. That's why chef-ran restaurants are the most successful, where the chefs own the restaurant. If you haven't watched the documentary called Nobu, please do it. Nobu is a outstanding restaurant, now multiple restaurants all over the world, and it is a clear example of a chef-ran restaurant. It is an immaculate documentary and gives you all the reasons and examples and proof of what the difference is between different styles of restaurants. So shout out to Nobu, the sushi place. So what I've been doing recently is merging hospitality with healing. So how I use my holistic practices like Reiki energy and awareness daily in the restaurant I work in now. How I stay grounded, how I clear my energy, and how I manage emotional stress in high intensity environments. Energy awareness matters in hospitality because the guests and your coworkers can feel your energy, people. When you show up to work and you have anxiety and you're stressed out already, everybody's going to feel it. When you show up to work happy, excited, we're here to make money, we're here to vibe. We have to work to pay our bills. We have to work to have fun. Whatever you're there for work, you got to do it. It shows. For example, the first 2 weeks I was at this establishment that I'm at now, it was an absolute shit show. Absolute shit show. Bad. Like that bad. So bad that I almost walked out. And I really needed a job. It was so bad, you guys. No communication at all. Completely ran ass backwards. Backwards. Everybody was like, oh, this is just how it is attitude. It was insane. I've never seen so many people walk out of a restaurant in my life of working in restaurants, and I've worked at dive bars. Okay? So coming from dive bars with high volume to working fine dining with very strict procedures, ties, like suit and ties, and very good proper manners to run the restaurant and service, to then coming to this place and it was completely backwards with tons of management on, not doing management duties. I was like, what is going on here? So much potential. We have amazing craft cocktails. We have amazing scratch kitchen. I mean, our food is outstanding and fresh. Our cocktails are outstanding and fresh. But there's certain things in this business, that they don't do to set their employees up for success. And I know this happens to so many restaurants because I've seen it. Owners, this is a brand new establishment, by the way. The building is 1 year old, 1 years old. This location is 1 years old. Everybody is new, or they've transferred from other stores, but they got retrained. Okay, I'm only 2 weeks old, and I'm like, what the F is going on? Why is everybody set up for failure here? That's what was really happening. It got so bad. I had so much anxiety going to work that I was calling my husband crying. Like, I can't take this. I can't work in an establishment like this. I can't see customers walk out. I can't see the kitchen drowned. I can't see the bar drowned. I can't see the restaurant drowned anymore. I was working with a coworker that day. Two of them. One, extremely lazy and knows that she can get away with a lot because she's pregnant. And then I have another one that's extremely positive, happy, doing it for fun, however, not very efficient. And then there's me who, I take everything very personal. I have a lot of pride in my work. So coming from all these different places and backgrounds, if I don't see my customers at the bar being taken care of correctly, on top of the drinks getting made fast enough for the restaurant, putting it out for the servers, I get anxiety. That's my management in me. That's my pride in me. But I realized it was taking a toll on me. I was ready to walk out. I couldn't take it anymore. And so I meditated the next day. I meditated for an hour on this. Do I quit? Do I stay? Why is this happening to me? What is going on? How can I do better? And the message that came to me was relax. You're taking this stuff too seriously. And I'm like, what? This is life. Relax. It's okay. When you're the only one in the whole entire business stressed out and nobody else cares, why are you caring? I'm like, whoa. Okay, you're right. I took a chill pill. I said, you know what? And my coworker's energy that was very positive and happy no matter what situation was happening kept coming in through my meditation. And I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to try this. I'm going to go in with his energy and a relaxed mindset, not so high strung, because I can be, and just chill. What happens, happens. You guys, I can't make this up. Everything shifted. Everything shifted. I went in. I started making kudos money. Not like $2,000 kudos money, but really good money. I was scheduled with the right coworkers. Not saying that those coworkers weren't right, just the right coworkers. I was scheduled the best shifts. I was meeting people left and right, customers. There was no more walkouts, not even one walkout. All of a sudden, things shifted in the behind the bar. Bartenders started prepping more, started communicating more. The bar chat started going off now. I mean, the communication was happening. The awareness was happening. The positivity, everybody was coming in smiling and happy, no anxiety. The management were paying attention more. The servers were coming up to me and complimenting me still to this day. There was even one server who was always angry and always complaining and always very sensitive man. Always. And I kind of mentioned that to him. I said, hey, dude, I'm like, since I've been here, the first day I was here, they said you're always like this. And I'm like, but I've been here for a couple months and you're literally always like this. I'm like, I don't know. And he got offended, of course, because that's just his personality. And I'm like, I'm just being real. We're all having a good time. I said, I was going through that too. I said, but everything's like chill now. Things are shifting. I said, so you should too. And I smiled at him. He was not happy. I cannot make this up. I didn't see him for like a week. He came back the first shift we were on together. He made cookies. This guy makes cookies. What guy makes cookies? They were good. He made cookies. He's like, hey, Marissa, you want some cookies? I'm like, what? Your mama made those? He's like, no, I made them. I'm like, no way. The guy was smiling. He was helping. He was sweeping when not asked. He was smiling the whole entire time. It was bizarre. I went to my manager. I'm like, look at how he's acting. She goes, yeah. And I'm like, that's weird, isn't it? She goes, that is not like him. I'm like, he's so happy it's making me uncomfortable. But that's how it happens. Energy awareness, shifting your own energy literally can shift the whole entire energy of the restaurant. Y'all, seriously. Insane. And where does my inspiration come from? Where does building conscious restaurants come from? 17 years of experience on top of read everybody in the industry, management, CEOs, everybody should read Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Goddard. No, by Will Jadara. I'm terrible at last names, okay? Unreasonable Hospitality, look it up. It's lessons from the world's best restaurants, you guys. It is an outstanding book. When I went to work at the fine dining restaurant in Madison, the restaurant manager was reading Unreasonable Hospitality, and she was like, oh, I've been given homework. And I go, that book is outstanding. Keep reading it. Probably read it 3 times because I'm going to read it 3 times. That's how good that book was. I've learned so much, and I have learned to implement what they have said in that book into where I'm at now. And it is shown. Y'all, my restaurant, I was just recognized by the evaluator of all of the corporate. She came up to me personally, shook my hand and said, I've been waiting to meet you. I am so excited to meet you. I'm like, what? And she's like, you have the most reviews, 5-star reviews, Google reviews, than any other employee in any of our restaurants in this corporation. And you've only been here for a few months. She's like, you got bragging rights, girl. And I was like, well, that's cool. Like nobody's ever really said it. It's just like natural to me getting these reviews, right? I'm a very personable person. I have used some tips from Unreasonable Hospitality in my service to serve others. My energy is high vibrational frequency. We know about that. Then we got our evaluations back. And all of a sudden, the head chef's coming to me and saying, hey, thank you so much for being here. You really are badass, and you make it a great addition to the team. I had one of my personal managers, she came up to me that morning. She said, Marissa, I want to be the first one to tell you, we all got our evaluations back individually, and you were the only one in the restaurant that got 100%. And that got notes saying that there was nothing to critique this girl on. She has hit every step of service. She has hit every step of training that we provide. And I have nothing to say but keep doing what you're doing, bringing the energy. I had an employee the same day, a coworker, a server, tell me, hey, I just want to let you know you are a really good worker and you're very professional. And I really like that about you. This bartender does it for fun and really funny. This bartender does it because she's pregnant. This bartender does it for fun because her husband pays for everything. This bartender does it because he's in his own, he was kind of giving examples of all the bartenders. He's like, but you're very professional and hardworking. And I appreciate that. It's cool. It's very awesome to be acknowledged for your energy just by being you. So yes, did I take a step back on my pride? Yes. But did I still do everything up to par? Yes. I just wasn't stressed out 24/7 because I had a team behind me. And now everybody knows me, so they know, I'm on Marissa's shift. They had back well set up for me when I got there one day because she's like, I know you like it this way because it's more efficient. I'm always talking about being more efficient, setting each other up for success. Okay? That's so important. And why the future of hospitality is heart-centered and conscious. That's what I want to bring. Imagine restaurants led by mindful management, motivated employees, and energized environments. That's what I am going to bring to the industries. I'm integrating holistic healing and mentorship into the restaurant world. And with that being said, I am looking to partner with restaurants that want to bring more love, communication, and consciousness into their culture, from management to employees to guests. If you have any restaurants that you know that need some more love, communication, and consciousness, please send them my way. Send them to me. You can send any inquiries to mmhealingcenter@gmail.com. I am looking to partner up with restaurants that want to bring this kind of energy into their industry. I have 17 years in hospitality and 7 years in holistic healing on top of just coming out of school for mentorship. This is what I am going to do. This is what I want to bring. Together, let's redefine what it means to thrive in this kind of industry. So every experience from chaos to connection has been a lesson in love, leadership, and energy. And the affirmation I want to end on is, I bring light, love, and presence into every space I serve. My energy nourishes others as much as any meal. Through kindness and awareness, I turn service into soul work. And with much love, have a beautiful day.